All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to this episode. Today, we're going to talk about this idea of not trying so hard or to stop trying so hard on this journey when it comes to recovering from OCD and anxiety. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And if you're looking for help on this journey, one of the things I would really encourage you to check out is, our Taking Back Control program. And we're actually going to be running a 3-day workshop that's going to be live with me coming up this August 2022, depending when you're listening to this. And so we're going to have some more information over at restoredminds.com. So please check that out. And if you're looking for additional support, we have an application right on our page as well that you can fill out and let us know what you're dealing with. And then from there, we can reach out and let you know how we can support you on that journey. So let's go ahead and dive into this topic of to stop trying so hard. And so what do I mean by that? Well, one of the big misconceptions is that, when it comes to OCD and anxiety is that we often think and we're taught in life that the harder we work, the better result we get. And that just couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to OCD and anxiety. In fact, and part of the problem is that we misperceive the problem, right? So when it comes to OCD and anxiety, we often are identifying this as an intrusive thought problem or a theme, right, that we're dealing with, or even a thought problem in general. And we're also identifying it as a feeling problem. And so what we do is we put all this effort into trying to control these things. And this effort could be trying to, fight the thoughts, analyze, ruminate. It also could be things like trying to control our environment, trying to make sure we don't get triggered, trying to plan ahead and control people to make sure they don't trigger us or things like that. And this can take on so many forms: getting reassurance, avoidance, control, coping, right, distracting. I mean, there's just countless ways that this can happen. And for most of us, we've probably come to the realization at this point in the journey, if you're listening to this show or watching this video, that look, this isn't working. I'm working really, really, really hard and I'm not getting anywhere. In fact, things seem to be getting worse, probably. And the reason is because it's not a effort issue. Like if this was an effort issue, and the more effort you put in, most of you would probably be completely fine by now. It really is a misunderstanding of what's going on. And here's the real, like, kind of illusion, if you will, is that you're already safe. See, your brain, when it comes to OCD and anxiety, is setting off these alarm systems and, producing thoughts and trying to come up with scenarios and ways in which you're in danger. And those are almost always in the past or the future. But right now, you're safe. You're listening to this or you're watching this, right? And you're not in danger right now. Yet your brain is setting off these alarms. And they feel very real. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a very real experience that you're having. It's just not a real danger. And even the themes and the fears that you have are really the only reason that your brain's producing them is because you keep reinforcing them. And reinforcing them by engaging in behaviors, I mean. And the question that, you need to ask yourself is, how would I behave if I was already safe? If I really at my core believed that I was safe, what would I be doing, right? How would I be living my life? And this is how you start to change things. Because the assumption that you're in danger and that there is something to be afraid of and that you aren't, that this needs to happen, right? Or you need to figure this out, or you need to make sure X, Y, and Z, right? I won't get this disease, or, fill in the blank, right? I won't ever become this terrible person. I won't go to hell. I won't run someone over with my car. Like all the various themes that this can take on. whenever you're engaging in a behavior to make sure that doesn't happen, you're reinforcing the idea that it's actually a true danger, something really to be considered or taken seriously. So every behavior you do paradoxically keeps you stuck. And that's the huge. So when you're trying really hard, essentially you're just making yourself more and more and more stuck. And that's the hardest thing that to grasp. In fact, your mind will never grasp that. That's why you can't solve this at a mind level, because you can't, I know Mark Freeman says this, and he's another, person that puts out videos on YouTube and does a lot of great things and for building great mental health. So big shout out to him. And if you haven't checked out his work, please check it out. I mean, it's, I've never talked to him personally, but I just really align with a lot of the messages that he sends out. But he says, he's like, you can't outthink a thinking problem. And I remember listening to him say that once, and I was just like, man, dude, he just hit the nail right on the head with that statement. Because you can't, if the mind is disturbed and trying to protect itself, it's not going to be able to think rationally. When you're in the fear response, you bypass the rational mind. So if you're in the fear response, you aren't thinking rationally, even if you feel like you are. And case in point would be something like what we saw in early 2020 here in where I am in California or in the States. And, when you saw people hoarding toilet paper and clearing shelves of grocery stores and, just all this stuff, where it's like, you can't tell me that's rational. They probably thought they were being rational at the time. And you can probably look back on times when you've been really anxious and really have felt like you were being rational at the time, but looking back on it, you're like, that's completely irrational. And one of the hardest things to do is to look when you're in that lens, right? When you're caught in that fear response, and to actually sit there and say, even though this feels completely rational to me, I know on a higher level it's not. I know on a higher level I shouldn't engage in this compulsion. And even though every fiber of my being is telling me that this is rational, it's not. And then behave as if you were already safe. If this wasn't a problem and I was already safe and I already felt safe, how would I act? Chances are I wouldn't be compulsively watching or reading or trying to find this answer out or analyze or all this stuff. Is I would just be here. And this is not easy to do, right? That's why we teach processes in our Taking Back Control program, right? To really, especially solution focused processes like the AAA response. It's so important that you're putting these processes into place in the moments of the spikes of anxiety and fear. And what that's doing is it's rewiring the brain. You're walking that new trail, the neuroplasticity, right? We talk a lot about that. And even if you feel compelled right now to how do I rewire my brain? And no, don't go into that, right? Trust that your body and brain knows how to heal, right? Stop trying to heal yourself and trust that you don't need to be healed, right? That you're not really in danger, right? The more effort you put in trying to heal yourself reinforces the idea that you're sick. Most of this work, what is exposure and response prevention? It's preventing yourself from responding with any compulsions or safety behaviors, meaning eliminating all the behaviors that we do. If I had to summarize ERP in a few words, is don't do anything. And that's not good advice, right? I want to be clear. That's why I don't teach that. And I don't teach, the idea of stopping behaviors. That's why we shift to the solution focused approach, because it's important that you're actually engaging in the correct things as opposed to just stopping the safety behaviors. But man, it's if you're trying really hard, it's a sign that you're not doing things correctly. I just want to be super frank with you. If you're spending hours trying to figure this out, trying to heal yourself, trying to do all this, stop. Okay. Pump the brakes. What if you were already safe? And just even ask just even entertain that possibility for a second today. Sit with that idea for 5 minutes today. 5 minutes. And if you want to go do a bunch of behaviors, it's like, okay, you know what? That's your choice. But for 5 minutes of your day, just ask yourself, like, what if I was already safe? And how would I live? Would I be on my phone at dinner with my family researching something or trying to watch this, video or XYZ? No. It's like I'd be with my family. If would I really go and wash for this amount of time? Or, it's like, what if you could start to live from the place that you were already safe? And if you can even try that and just see what happens, what's that going to reinforce in your brain? That you're already safe. And so it's an important thing. And I just want to, so that's the message for today. I just want to just really reiterate this idea of stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard. So, for those of you that are, again, looking for more help on this journey, I really encourage you to come and join us in August, where we're going to do a 3-part live workshop, with me, and I'm going to be running it live. And again, I'm going to be going deeper into this stuff. And it's something I'm really excited about. I've wanted to do this 3-day workshop for a while. Again, it is paid. There's a low fee for it. So it is something that, I just want to be transparent about that, but you can learn more about that in the links of the show. And on the workshop, again, we're just going to be diving into these concepts even deeper, because these foundational concepts are what everything builds upon. See, ERP, ACT, mindfulness, these are amazing tools. They are. And they really helped me on my journey. But when you start challenging fundamental beliefs and you start building pillars of which the tools then are applied, they're so much more effective than trying to apply the tools from your limiting beliefs that you're carrying around, from these narratives that you're carrying into this story of what you've read about someone told you of what wasn't possible and this and this and that. It's like, no. This is a complete paradigm shift. And that's what's needed for true recovery, in my opinion. So anyways, stop trying so hard. That's the message of the day. And, I hope this was helpful, and I wish you guys a great week as always. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds, where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.